Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
KHJ Los Angeles.
Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 87 Sports Fans Live, the February 9th, 2015 edition. I am Keith Grieve from 87sportsfans.com. Welcome, ladies and gents. I am, unfortunately for you, flying solo. My usual co-pilot, Mr. Steve Taylor, had a last-minute ceiling leak, apparently. So, wishing him the best. I for the record, I am not a bad friend. I did ask him if he needed any help. I have not heard back. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, usually this is a 2-hour show, folks. We'll see if something comes up unexpectedly. A reminder that this and every broadcast is brought to you by CG Imaging at cg-imaging.com. CG Imaging, virtually creating reality. And also by The Lockbox by Stephen Taylor, a thrilling spy novel available for digital download and or paperback orders through Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. The Lockbox by Stephen Taylor. So hello, kids. How we doing today? Great. If you want to call and save everyone from the monotony of me droning on by myself here, because Lord knows I can talk, kids. Oh, I can talk. The number is 585-633-7487, 585-633-7487. You can also hit me up on Twitter at 87sportsfans tonight. Spread the news, kids. Spread the news. So lately we've been trying to go through a different sort of process, a little bit unscripted. By the way, as normal, at the top of the hour, Jim Saranteas from thefantasygreek.com will join us for the NFL hour, or join me anyway for the NFL hour. Usually a fantastic hour of internet radio, just for the record. But like I was saying, we trying to do something a little bit different, a little bit new, where it's a little bit unscripted, and we go through the scoreboard of what's going on tonight, talking sports as they happen. And the first game that comes up on my screen is the Knicks losing to the Heat in Miami, 109-95. Chris Bosh leading the way with 32 points. Carmelo Anthony chips in 26. I love it when I say things like chips in 26, like it's something that you do by accident. But Mario Chalmers puts up 18. Luol Deng, brah, 12 points. Also Tyler Johnson, the venerable Tyler Johnson. Again, the Heat without Dwayne Wade. For the Knicks, Amare Stoudemire, 14 points, 7 boards. Langston Galloway with 10 points, 9 boards. Jose Calderon with 6 assists. So, yeah, it's the same old. The Knicks actually came out of the gates pretty good in this game, 32-23 in the first quarter, but then flipped the script in the second half. Outscored 25-18 in the third quarter, 32-21 in the fourth. So, thank God the Heat didn't have Dwayne Wade, Knicks fans. Holy shnikes. Which leads me to my first point of the night. And by now, it's kind of old news because everybody's been hashing it out over the last 36 hours. But this letter that Knicks owner, president, whatever the hell his title is, James Dolan, wrote to a fan in response to some angry hate mail is a different level of suckage than we're usually used to from the Knicks, especially this season. Now, anybody that thought Phil Jackson and or Derek Fisher were going to waltz into Madison Square Garden and turn everything around in year one, you're sorely mistaken. I don't think anybody really thought that it would be as bad as it has been. But yet, here we are, folks. So the fan apparently wrote a letter to Dolan saying that basically calling him stupid and everything you do has been a disgrace, and please, for the love of God and all that is good in basketball, sell the team so that we may one day have a chance of actually having a team that we can be proud of. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Typical salty fan. You know, the cranky fan, the one that feels like they're owed a quality product. So my first problem with this whole shenanigans, these whole shenanigans, is this fan that felt the need to, and it's not like it's some 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid trying to be a smartass. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, the story is that he signed it. He's somebody's father, so he's a dad. So he's old enough. You know, he said he was a fan since back in the day. So he's an old dude. Why on earth do you think you writing a letter is proper and or necessary to fix what's ailing the Knicks? It just, the whole concept just blows my mind. I mean, because you took the time to, I believe it was an email, type out this email and send it and list off just this absolute. You know what? If you want to do something productive, like start an internet radio station or something where you can, sound off at will. So anyway, Joe Schmo, whatever his name is, he goes off and tears Dolan a new one. And he may or may not be justified in all the points that he made in that. Why are you sending James Dolan an email? It's like, look, I'm a Laker fan, okay? Everybody knows that. What's going on with this team is hard to watch. And I fault Jim Buss for a lot of it. And I don't think I've made any secret of that. But there's nothing about my perspective, whether I feel my perspective is educated, intelligent, or not, that would make me think that the right thing for me to do is to send this miserable email to the owner. But what happens is that Dolan writes an equally miserable response, calling the guy, or guessing, I guess was Dolan's words, that he's an alcoholic and must be a miserable force to in his own life and must have negative effects on everybody around him. It's a tawdry, disgraceful scene. But it sums up everything that's going on with the New York Knicks right now. Because there's so much going on behind the scenes with Melo and all the holes in his game, and Amare and the Knicks trying to find somebody to take his contract, and it's just the worst. You know who's happy the Knicks are in such turmoil is Laker fans, because as bad as our situation is, we got it better than you. That's for certain. 585-633-7487. 585-633-7487. So the Knicks lose another one. They fall to 10-42. The host team for the All-Star game. 10-42. Just flipping fantastic. And in Dolan's retort, Dolan's response, he told this fan, root for the Nets because the Knicks don't want you. Well, that's customer service 101, ain't it, kids? So that will segue nicely to the second game we'll talk about, and that is the Nets losing right now to the Bucks. 2:56 left in the fourth quarter, 95-86. If you are a NBA fan, you need to start paying attention to Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I totally butchered that last name, and I'm going to have to practice that over and over again. because the kid is showing signs. Okay, he's got 12 points today. 12 points, 9 boards, 8 assists from the Milwaukee small forward. And the only thing that this makes me think of is, gosh, I wish Jabari Davis didn't get hurt this year, because it would be really cool to see the two of them mature together. In case you're wondering, for the Nets, Jarrett Jack with 15 points, Joe Johnson with 19, 13 for Bojan Bogdanovic. Joe Johnson, every time I hear that name, he makes, I think of like a 60s rock and roll star for some reason. I don't know why. Next up, Joe Johnson. But anyway, back to my point. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I got Antetokounmpo. That's going to be a while for me. That was pretty bad. That was pretty goddamn awful. For the Bucks as 28 and 23, the Bucks have no business being 28 and 23. They don't, but they are. And if Giannis, and I'm just going to call him by his first name, we're on a first name basis, bro, whether you knew it or not. If he's coming into his own as an NBA starter, as an NBA star, I guess, and everybody wants to be hesitant about that. And then you got to start looking at what's around him. I mean, Brandon Knight, tonight's not the best night to be looking at his numbers. 2 of 12 from the field, 5 boards, 5 assists, 8 points total. But Jared Dudley, who seems to be persona non grata eventually, but everyone swears the kid's got skills. 19 points on 7 of 10 shooting tonight. And O.J. Mayo, off the bench, 22 minutes, 13 points. Shooting 20 of 22 from the free throw line. The Nets, on the other hand, 10 of 17, but that's what happens when you got a team of older, offensively oriented players that never were really good at making free throws. So with 1:39 left in that game, the Bucks are leading by 9, 97-88. The Bucks, they're one of those franchises where you swear you just want them to move somewhere. Nobody cares. Just go move to Seattle. Be the new Sonics, so we can care about you. But if they're starting to turn the corner, and if the Bucks can be respectable, if the Bucks can make, you're talking about the Bucks, who now they started John Henson at center, and with Zaza Pachulia coming off the bench, but the face of this franchise is Larry Sanders, and we talked on the show before. Larry Sanders isn't even the best Larry Sanders in recent memory. Gary Shandling's character on his HBO sitcom was, for the record. So if the Bucks are turning the corner and now all of a sudden are going to be, you don't want to call them contenders because I don't think they can play with the big boys just yet. But if they face off against the Bulls, the Cavs, when they're healthy, the Pacers, the Raptors this year, and they either beat one of those guys in a playoff series or take them to 6-7 games, or Jason Kidd, Coach of the Year, I don't know if we're ready to talk about that yet. I still have a sour taste in my mouth over the way that he left Brooklyn last year. And I don't have a vested interest, and I still got a sour taste in my mouth. I don't know. Ask yourselves that, kids, when you go home and you're ready to put your head on the pillow tonight. Are we ready to talk about Jason Kidd as a possible Coach of the Year candidate? I'm not going to say he wins because Budenholzer in Atlanta is doing a pretty impressive job down there. But the Bucks have nobody. Really nobody. And if they can make a semi-deep run, and I use that term sparingly, into the playoffs, then who knows? You got to start throwing some recognition somewhere, don't you?